Hello, today we discuss the topic contact between statistics and thermodynamics and the physical significance of the microstate, that is the number omega, which depends on n, v, and e, where n is the number of particles, v is the volume, and e is the energy of the system. We are going to discuss the physical significance of the microstate. Now let us consider two physical systems A1 and A2 which are separately in equilibrium. Let the macrostate of A1 be represented by the parameters N1, V1 and E1 so that it has omega 1 possible microstate. Similarly, A2 is represented by the parameters N2, V2 and E2 and it has omega 2 possible microstate. Here two systems are separated by a membrane and we can consider three cases of partition. So we have a system with two subsystems A1 and A2 which are separately in equilibrium and we have a partition. So A1 can be represented by the parameters N1, E1, E1 and omega 1. Similarly A2 can be represented. Now let's consider three cases, and the first case is partition is impermeable, fixed and heat conducting. Since the partition is impermeable, particles do not transfer between this wall. So wall or membrane. So n is kept constant, that is n1 and n2 is kept constant, and the wall is fixed. Fixed means we cannot change the volume, hence v1 and v2 is fixed, but it's heat conducting, thus energy transfer occurs. So we bring the two systems into thermal contact with each other, thus allowing the possibility of exchange the energy between two. Considering the wall to be rigid, impenetrable and respective volumes V1 and V2 and the respective particle number N1 and N2 remain constant. The energies E1 and E2 however become variable, and the only condition that restrict their variation is E0 equal to E1 plus E2. So the total energy is always kept constant. The total energy of the system is kept constant, where E0 denotes the energy of the composite system A0 and which is approximately equal to A1 and A1 plus A2. So E0 is kept constant, the total energy is constant, but E1 and E2 varies. The subsystem A1 is equally likely to be in one of the microstate omega 1, while the subsystem A2 is likely to be in any one of the microstate omega 2, and the composite system is equally likely to be in the microstate omega 0. So omega 0 actually depends on E1 and E2. So we can write omega equal to omega 1 omega 2. That is omega 0 equal to omega 1 of E1 omega 2 of E2, and equation is represented by 3. Now we have the previous case equation 2. From 1 we can write E2 equal to E0 minus E1. When we apply this equation in 3, we get omega 0 equal to omega 1 into omega 2, and omega 2 is actually depending on E2. This E2 can be written as E0 minus E1. So omega 0 is the function of E0 and E1. So in equation 3 actually omega 0 is the function of E1 and E2, but when we consider equation 4, omega 0 is a function of E0 and E1. We know E0 is a constant and E1 varies. So omega 0 solely depends on E1 only. From this also we can consider that omega 0 or the maximum number of microstate, omega 0 is maximum when E1 is maximum, because E0 is a constant, only E1 varies. So when E1 is maximum, omega 0 is maximum. Now we will discuss how far will the energy exchange go in order to bring the subsystems A1 and A2 in mutual equilibrium, or that at what value of E1 the composite system be in equilibrium. So now we have to find the value of E1 which makes this composite system in equilibrium, or how much the energy transfer between them, up to what extent the energy transfer. Statistically speaking, we regard a macrostate with large number of microstate as a most probable one. The most probable state of the system is a state which spends an overwhelmingly large fraction of its time. This state can be considered as the equilibrium state. So we know the most probable state is the most probable macrostate is the maximum number of microstate with maximum number of microstate. So just let's consider during the energy transfer E1 becomes E1 dash and E2 becomes E2 dash. So we consider the maximum number of microstate will be in equilibrium. So during this transfer, E1 tends to E1 dash and E2 tends to E2 dash, where E1 dash and E2 dash actually represents states of equilibrium, energy at the state of equilibrium. So we can write dou omega naught by dou E1 equal to 0. Even on omega naught only depends on E1. So taking the derivative, we can take it as 0. That is, the derivative is 0 when the function is maximum. We don't know that already. So equation 5 represents that. Now using product rule, the second equation, using product rule, the third equation can be written like this: omega 1 into dou omega 2 by omega E2 plus dou omega 1 by dou E1 into omega 2 E2. Here E1 and E2 are adding. What E1 becomes E1 dash and E2 becomes E2 dash. Now here in the equation, dou E2 by dou E1 can be found to be minus 1. That is, from equation 2, E2 is equal to E0 minus E1. Taking derivative, we will get with derivative with respect to E1, we will get minus 1. So equations can be taken to both sides of the equality and rearranging, that is E1 terms together and E2 terms together, we get an equation. And next, taking the log, we get another equation, that is dou log omega 2 by dou E2 will be equal to dou log omega 1 by dou E1, which is represented by equation 7. Let the parameter, let's consider parameter beta. Let beta equal to dou log omega by dou E1. So equation 7 can be rewritten as beta 1 equal to beta 2. And later we will find that beta is depending on temperature. That is, beta is inversely proportional to temperature. Thus T1 equal to T2. We can write T1 equal to T2. Thus, when two physical systems are brought into thermal contact, which allows the exchange of energy between them, this exchange continues until the equilibrium state values E1 dash and E2 dash of the variable E1 and E2 are reached. Once these values are reached, there is no more exchange of energy between the two systems. Thus, the system are said to attain mutual equilibrium. Since beta 1 and beta 2 are equal, the parameter beta related to the thermodynamic temperature T, T1 and T2 are equal. So since beta 1 and beta 2 are equal, T1 and T2 can be equated. So until it attain equilibrium, there will be energy exchange, and after the attaining of equilibrium, there will be no more exchange of energy. So during the system in equilibrium, T1 and T2 will be equal. So we set beta is inversely proportional to 1 by T. Now let's prove it. From the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to T ds, which is equal to dE plus P dV minus mu dN. Here T ds is the entropy, dE is the internal energy, P dV is the work done, mu is the chemical potential and the mu dN is the chemical potential term. Actually, mu dN represents to the open system, and dE plus P dV, the term dE plus P dV represents the closed system. We have already said V and N are constants. According to our case, impermeable, immovable membrane. It is fixed. The membrane is fixed. So the wall is fixed. Hence, V and N are constant. So TDS is equal to DE dou S by dou E with respect to constant V and N equal to 1 by T. Let us put it equation 10. So 1 by T, we have an equation for 1 by T. We know entropy SC is proportional to log omega microstate. That is entropy in terms of microstate. So S equal to K log omega, which is the famous relation, Boltzmann's relation, equation 11. And this is a very important relation while we relate thermodynamics with statistics. The equation that we can find the contact between thermodynamics and statistics using Boltzmann relation. On continuing from equation 10, putting S equal to in equation 10 and continuing, K into dou log omega by dou E equal to 1 by T. K beta is equal to 1 by T. Thus beta equal to 1 by KT. And we can say beta is proportional to, inversely proportional to T or beta is proportional to 1 by T. So K is the Boltzmann constant and it has the value K is equal to 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So equation 11 determines the absolute value of entropy of a given physical system in terms of total number of microstate possible to it in conformity with a given macrostate. So equation 11 is a entropy in terms of microstate, number of microstate. The zero entropy when corresponds to a special state for which the only microstate is accessible, that is omega equal to 1, the so-called unique configuration. The statistical approach provides a theoretical basis for third law of thermodynamics. So we have zero entropy, that is when S is equal to, we can say S is equal to 0 when omega equal to 1. S equal to K log omega. So omega equal to 1, S will be 0, that is entropy is 0, and this is actually the theoretic basis for third law of thermodynamics. This again statistics is connected to thermodynamics. According to second law of thermodynamics, the law of increase of entropy is related to the fact that energy content of the universe in its natural course is becoming less and less available for conversion into work. The entropy can be regarded as the measure of disorder or chaos prevailing in the system. So 11 tells us how the disorder arises microscopically. Clearly, disorder is the manifestation of the largeness of the number of microstate of the system can have. The larger the choice of microstate, lesser the degree of predictability or level of disorder of the system. Complete order prevails when and only the system has no other choice but to be in a unique state and in turns correspond to the vanishing entropy. So we will get the maximum order or the complete order when omega equal to 1 or the vanishing entropy when entropy equal to 0. It will be of complete order, otherwise it will have disorder. So when the macrostate increases, microstate and entropy is related through Boltzmann equation. Now we consider the second case. The partition or the membrane is impermeable, movable and heat conducting. Impermeable, therefore number of particles remain constant, but movable, thus volume can be changed. So V1 and V2 varies, heat conducting and the energy transfer occurs. If we assume the wall separating two systems is movable as well as conducting, the respective volumes V1 and V2 of such systems A1 and A2 also become variable. Indeed, the total volume V0 will be constant. V0 equal to V1 plus V2 remains constant. Thus, we have only one more independent variable. So, we have only N to be independent. Of course, the wall is still assumed to be impermeable when particles, so that the N1 and N2 remain fixed. Thus, E1 and E2 varies, V1 and V2 varies. So, consider the case of heat conducting we have already obtained in the previous case, that is in case 1, we have equation 7 from which we obtained beta 1 equal to beta 2 and that is T1 equal to T2. Now, keeping the number of particles and energy constant, we vary the volume. On varying volume, dou log omega by dou V1 will be equal to dou log omega 2 by dou V2 and it will be N1 E1 V1 equal to V1 dash. Thus, just we have noting that V1 varies to V1 dash and V2 varies to V2 dash. Equation 12. And now let's introduce another parameter, eta. Let eta equal to dou log omega by dou V in constant N and E. Equation 13, and from 12 we will get that eta 1 equal to eta 2. So it is the another parameter we introduced to find the physical significance of eta. Now we are going to find the physical significance of eta. So again, from the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to Tds equal to dE plus P dV minus mu dA, which implies dou S by dou V in constant E and N equal to P by T. We have S is equal to K log omega and applying from 11, that is from Boltzmann relation, S equal to K log omega. Applying in 15, we will get dou log omega by dou V equal to P by KT. Now, so we consider the case of thus the parameter eta depends on P and T. From the previous equation, we know eta depends on P and T. Thus, P1 by KT1 equal to P2 by KT2, which is represented by equation 16. So, we consider two situations here. Heat conducting by N and V kept constant, that is E varying, and the next case E and N is constant and V is varying. Two cases are considered. Heat transfer and the volume is kept constant, and volume is varying and heat and all kept constant. Now considering the both situations together, that is we are considering the movable heat conducting system, we will get T1 equal to T2, and from which we can obtain P1 equal to P2. Thus in case 2, that is for movable membrane and impermeable heat conducting membrane, we will have at the equilibrium, that is, or when E equal to E dash, T and P will be equal, that is T1 equal to T2 and P1 will be equal to P2. In the case of equilibrium, or the value of E become E1, E dash, that is E1 becomes E1 dash and E2 becomes E2 dash. Now we consider the third case, that is permeable, movable and heat conducting membrane. Permeable means number of particles is changing, that is N1 and N2 is changing, but total number N0 is kept constant. Movable, volume changes, heat conducting, energy changes. If A1 and A2 comes into contact through a wall, for which allows the exchange of particle as well as the conditions for equilibrium will be further augmented by the equality of the parameter zeta 1 of the subsystem A1 and zeta 2 of the subsystem A2. So here we are introducing a new parameter zeta. Thus N, V and E varies. So N1 varies to N1 dash, N2 varies to N2 dash. Similarly V and E varies. Now let's start from the first itself. From the case 1, we have in the case of heat conducting impermeable, and that is impermeable immovable membrane, we have equation 7, from which we can get beta 1 equal to beta 2, T1 equal to T2. And consider the case of movable wall, that is in the case of 2, we get equation 12, from which we get eta 1 equal to eta 2 and P1 equal to P2. Now when the membrane is permeable, that is N1 changes. Let's assume E and V is constant. Then dou log omega 1 by dou N1 in constant energy and volume. Dou log omega 2 by dou N2 in constant energy and volume. We get equation 18. Let zeta equal to dou log omega by dou N. Here N1 changes to N1 dash and N2 changes to N2 dash. That's from 18a we get zeta 1 equal to zeta 2. Now we have to find the physical significance of zeta. From first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to Tds equal to dE plus P dV minus mu dN. Thus dou S by dou N in constant volume and energy equal to minus mu by Kt. What is mu? It's a chemical potential. So we get equation 19, and putting Boltzmann's equation as equal to K log omega, we get 19b. Thus from that we can reduce mu1 by Kt1 is equal to mu2 by Kt2. Thus if two systems exchange particle as well as energy, but we have their volumes fixed, the conditions of equilibrium obtained thermodynamically are indeed T1 equal to T2, that is mu1 equal to mu2. And finally, if the exchange is such that all three parameters, that is N, V and E, become variable, then the conditions of equilibrium become T1 equal to T2, P1 equal to P2 and mu1 equal to mu2. Thus we can conclude that all cases we deduced using Boltzmann relation. Actually we used Boltzmann relation, and which exhibits the relation between statistics and thermodynamics. So we have proved that's Boltzmann law, is a connection between statistics and thermodynamics, since we obtained all three conditions from Boltzmann relation. Now we are going to the thermodynamic properties, that is the intensive parameters. Thermodynamic properties of a system A1 and A2 can be derived from the function omega 1, N1, V1, E1 and omega 2, which depends on N2, EV2, E2 respectively. So to find these properties, first we have to find the macro state, the parameters defining the system, and next we find the micro state, and then we calculate entropy. So we have from the previous cases we have dou s by dou e at constant n comma v equal to k into dou log omega by dou e n comma v equal to beta equal to 1 by kt. We have equation A. Similarly, dou s by dou v equal to p by t from equation B, and dou s by dou n equal to minus mu by t from equation C. From A, B and C, temperature, pressure and chemical potential can be calculated. From equation 10 we have dou s by dou e is equal to 1 by t. This temperature T can be written as T equal to dou e by dou s at constant volume and number of particles. Consider a calculus. We consider a calculus dou x by dou y at constant dou y by dou z of x dou z by dou x of y equal to minus 1 from equation 22. From equation 15 we have dou s by dou v equal to p by t. Thus p equal to t into dou s by dou v. We have t equal to dou e by dou s, and we put in equation we get p equal to dou e by dou s into dou s by dou v. According to equation 22 we have dou e by dou s in comma v, dou s by dou v in n comma e, dou v by dou e in n comma s equal to minus 1. Thus p into dou v by dou e in n comma s equal to minus 1. P we have already p. Hence pressure P is equal to minus dou E by dou V or n comma S, equation 23. So we got pressure from 23 and temperature from 22. Now from 19a, we have dou S by dou N equal to minus mu by T. Thus minus mu can be written as dou S by dou N into dou E by dou S. Again considering the calculus, we have equation dou S by dou E by dou S, dou S by dou N, dou V by dou E equal to minus 1. Then minus mu into dou V by dou E will be minus 1. Hence chemical potential mu is equal to dou E by dou V at V comma S. So we have found the parameter pressure, temperature and chemical potential. Now we discuss the thermodynamic potentials. First one is internal energy, which is represented by E. Second one is Helmholtz free energy A, Gibbs free energy G, and enthalpy H. Since entropy is a function of E, that is S is equal to S of NVE, we can calculate internal energy from entropy. And now we have Helmholtz free energy A equal to E minus Ts. Now Gibbs free energy A is equal to A plus PV, and since T is equal to E plus PV minus mu n, G equal to E minus Ts plus PV, and G is equal to mu n. So the first equation A plus PV, it is in the terms of Helmholtz energy, and next one in the terms of internal energy, and the third one in terms of chemical potential. Similarly, enthalpy can be calculated H equal to E plus PV, H equal to Ts plus mu n, and which is equal to Ts plus G. So first one is in the terms of internal energy, and second one in the terms of chemical potential, and third one in the terms of Gibbs free energy. Specific heat. So we have specific heat at constant volume and specific heat at constant pressure. So first one, specific heat at constant volume, that is Cv is equal to dou Q by dou T at constant volume and number of particles. Q is equal to Ts equal to E plus PV minus mu n, and taking the derivative we will get dQ is equal to TdS equal to dE plus PdV minus mu dN. Since volume is constant, PdV term will be 0, and since n is constant, mu dN will be 0. Thus dQ will be TdS equal to dE. Thus Cv can be written as T into dou S by dou T at n comma V. Now specific heat at constant pressure, Cp is equal to dou Q by dou T at n comma P. Since here PdV does not change, PdV has a change, this mu dN equal to 0, and Q, we can write Q in simple terms C plus PV. Thus Cp is equal to dou by dou T of E plus PV, and n comma P, the Cp can be reduced as dou H by dou T 10 comma P, that is in terms of Helmholtz free energy, in terms of enthalpy. So we discussed the significance of number of microstates and the relation of microstate with entropy, that is Boltzmann relation. And the Boltzmann relation is actually the key that relates statistics to thermodynamics. So we have discussed, and from this we can calculate thermodynamic properties, thermodynamic potential, specific heat, etc. We can calculate from Boltzmann relation. So here completed the contact between statistics and thermodynamics.